Hello, everybody, and welcome to day 52 of the 100 Days Python Programming Challenge and day 2 of our Christmas special. And today's topic is Secret Santa. I don't know if people still do Secret Santa because the last time I heard of it, people were like fighting. Oh, I gave this person an expensive watch and he gave me a pencil and this and that and this and that. Do you still do Secret Santa? Let me know in the comments. So today we will be coding how to assign who is who's Secret Santas. So we'll have a list of names and then we would randomly pair people together. Like this person has to give this person a gift and this person has to give the other person a gift. It's day 2 of Christmas special and it's Secret Santa. Let's begin. Day 2, day 52. Hello, everyone, and welcome to day 52 of the 100 Days Programming Challenge. And today is day 2 of our Christmas special. And I said today is Secret Santa appearing in Python. I know Secret Santa is a tradition where people anonymously give and receive gifts. And today I would write a Python script that would randomly pair people in a list with another and ensuring that no one is paired with themselves. So I want to create a list of participants. I want to shuffle and pair the participant, and I want to print the participant and save the result in a TXT file. So a lot is going on here. I would use a function, I would use a while loop, I would use a for loop, I would use an if statement, and I would also write into the files. We'll use dictionaries, we'll use length, we'll use randoms, and so on and so forth. So we're using the random function. So I imported random, and then I want to have my function that we would use to assign the Secret Santa. And what is kind of special about this is that we'll randomly arrange the order of the participants, and then we'll use a dictionary to store the Secret Santa pairing, and each key would be the name of the Secret Santa, and then the value would be the person, the gift recipient. So that's what we're trying to do. So let's begin. So I've imported random, and next is I would have my function, and that is the name of my function is assign Secret Santa, and my parameter is the participant. So what do I want to do in this my function? I want to randomly shuffle, and then I want to create Santa pairs. So I want to call my random, and then I want to declare an empty dictionary where I would store my key and value. So this is my random shuffle, and the participant is the information that the user would enter. So the participant would also use a user input to get the list of participants, and then we want to randomly shuffle the participants. And then for each participant, I now want to save it. I want to be able to do the pairing, and I would use a for loop for that. So for I, in the range of the length of the participant. So this is my for loop. So each participant gives a gift to the next in the shuffle. And then what we want to do, we want to do a circular pairing where the last person in the list wraps around and gives the gifts to the first person in a circular pairing. So here we're trying to assign each participant to give a gift to the next by using this formula. So you see we have I, and then the next participant I plus 1. So now we want to collect the participants' names, and I would use an input statement. But first, let's save our participant inside a list. So we have our participant, and we have our empty list, and then a nice print statement. I always like to have a print statement to kind of tell my user what I'm about to do. So enter names of participants, and then enter or type done. when finished. See, I want to be able to tell the user like, oh, you're done with the entering the individual names, then type done, and then the program will know that, oh, you're done, and then it would finish. And now we have my while loop because I want this to continue to run until the user types in done. So I want to have my input statement that the user would use to enter the name. So this is while true. I get the name, and then convert the name to lowercase, and if it is done, if it is the word that you enter is done, and then I want it to break, otherwise I want it to keep appending until the user types done, and then the whole thing stops. So I've gotten, you see here, we're able to do our random shuffle. We're able to collect our list of participants. And then we have to like put conditions in place that we want to, this would only run correctly if we have more than one participant. So I want to put checks in place. I know I always put checks in place because I do not want my functions, my code to fail at any point in time. Usually you cannot predict what your user would input, but you can put checks in place to ensure that your code doesn't fail. So I want to check that are there enough participants? If there's just one participant, then there is no pairing that will be done. So I want my participant to be greater than 2. Or you can use greater than or equal to, but then if you have just 2 people, they can just give each other gifts. So greater than 2. If it's not greater than 2, I don't want it to fail. I want you to print that there are not enough participants. Please add at least 2 people. Otherwise, if it's greater than 2, I want to call this my function. Every time you define a function, you have to call the function. Otherwise, nothing happens. So do not forget that even though and you can get confused sometimes. You have lots of functions, you have lots of code because these are just like little codes. Yeah, sometimes you have like 1,000 lines of code. You have to ensure that every time you define a function, you have to call your function in the appropriate place where you need it to be called in order for it to run successfully. So I'm calling my function if the list is greater than 2. If it's not, then I want to print the message that it is not. So now we have everything that we need in the first place. Now I want to print. We said the last thing we want to print and save the results. So we have done our shuffle. We created the list of our participants. We did a while loop to ensure that we are able to collect the input from the user. And then when the user enters done, we know that that is the end of the list of participants. And then we append it into the list. If it is greater than 2, we call our function. If it is less than 2, we print a message that we don't have enough participants. So now I want to display my results. That's the other thing we want to do, display results and also to save my participants into a TXT file. So I'm using a for loop. Again, this is like a print message. You can make it whatever you want. And we said that it's going to be a dictionary. Our center pairs is going to be a dictionary. So we're printing, and we said that the key is the person giving the gift, and then the value is the recipient. So this is just an F string to just make it easily readable. We can just put print Santa and recipient, but then this is like readable that this person would give a gift to this person. And then we're doing a for loop of our center pairs. That is the dictionary that we created here, dot items. To learn more about dictionaries, there's a video on the channel about dictionaries. You should check it out to understand what we are doing here. So like this, we would be able to display our results. Now, the final thing that we said we want to do is that we want to save the results in a file. So we would be using our with open. Again, I've said like several times with open, so we don't have to close the file. With open automatically like close the file, so you do not have to close it yourself. And when you're writing into the file, you use the W. When you're reading, you use R. When you're appending, you use A. We talked about it the day we talked about file write. So now I have my file dot write, and then what do I want to write? I can write the same thing that we currently have here. It's kind of like an header in my file. I have opened my file to write, and then I've used my file write to write my heading. And what do I want to write? This my same for loop still works because I want to iterate through the my dictionary item. So I'll have my for loop, and then I will then have my file dot write because I want to write the entry into my txt file. And what do I want to write? I want to write this in my file write. And then I want to also put a new line so the each entry or each line would be on its own special line. So this is what we have. And then finally, another thing you can just do is to print out the file name, just kind of like marking that everything is done. And this is where your information is being saved. So this is our code. Let me run it. So enter the names of participants and type done when you're finished. So first is me, and then there's Femi, and then there's Joy, and then there's Felix, and then there's Jose, and then there's Lara, and then this is done. I entered done, and we have our pairs. So you see in the circle pairing that I said earlier, you see Lara is the first person and gives to Fumi, and then Felix then gives to Lara. So it kind of like goes round kind of in circle. And then our pairings is saved to this file. And this is our information saved in the file. Or you can also put new line at the header so that the next name goes to the new line. So we have our Secret Santa. So these are the people giving each other gifts this Christmas. Other ways to go about it, like instead of inputting the names of the participants one by one, you can have it in a file and you can read it from the file and perform your shuffling there. Because imagine if you have to have like 100 people or 50 people, then maybe inputting it one by one might not be the best approach. So you can try that out at your practice question. Try rather than using the input statement to get the input from the user, read directly from a file and then perform the random shuffling there. That's it for today. I'll see you tomorrow for day 3 of our Christmas special. Thank you very much for watching our Python Christmas special. As usual, the link to the Jupyter Notebook is in the description. Feel free to check it out and play around with it. And again, I wish you a Merry Christmas in advance. See you tomorrow.